We already discussed that with you. You should be doing a show in XM.
No, I would love to. It's just, you know what, man? When I did the Man Show, when I did Fear Factor and the Man Show at the same time, I had no fucking life, and I hated it, and it killed me. And I'm so terrified of being greedy again. Because that's what I did in the first one. I got greedy. I'm like, I can work 7 days a week. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But, dude,
so we shouldn't take our TV meeting today?
Listen.
We got a TV meeting today.
You know what? I don't know. You do what you got to do.
We'll see what they have to say.
It killed me, man.
But Ann and I are already like, yeah, whatever. We've been through this a million fucking times. Everyone has a great idea to bring us to TV, and it never pans out.
Yeah, it's a show called Fright Factory. We're doing, people are going to be eating like horse asses.
That's the difference between me and other. I'll tell you, please rip my show off.
Just please rip it off.
I don't care.
You bubble-headed booby. You blundering bag of bolts. You bumbling incompetent. Oh dear! Oh dear! You will be molested.
Billy!
Was that supposed to be some kind of sick joke?
I see the awful, terrible things in my life and turn it into something funny.
Mom! I'm not the Lord. I have to do this now.
Greatest movie ever.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yes, we were.
We were talking about a lot of things after the show yesterday.
Anytime me and Opie got to go through any kind of security, and they're in every building here in New York, and the guy runs through his list, if you have an appointment, I always think of that scene in The King of Comedy where the author is booked on Jerry's show. He goes to the back door to get in, and the old security guard's got the list, and he goes, I'll check the list, sir. You're not on the list, sir. I will check again, sir. No, sir, your name is not on the list, sir.
Sorry, sir.
And he's every security guy in the city. Every single guy is that fucking guy. And no, sir. Could you look again? I'm scheduled to be on again. I'm looking again, sir. No, your name is not here, sir.
And all these building security guys here in New York City think their shit don't stink. And
they've been told by the mayor now that they are part of the security of New York.
They're the biggest jokes out there.
First line of security.
Yeah, they think they could hold back Al-Qaeda from their building.
They're the first line. Do you know if a guy with a bomb comes into the building, who's the first guy? Not the guy going through the revolving door leaving for lunch. Not the guy sweeping up the lobby. It's the security guy at the desk.
And I had a quick little test that I did today.
Yeah?
As far as our building goes.
Uh-huh.
I haven't even told you about this one yet, Anthony.
You're doing tests on your own time?
I want to see how good these security guards actually are.
Yeah.
Because if Al-Qaeda's coming, I don't want them taking over our building, right?
Of course, very important building here.
At least our building.
Steinway building.
Yeah, at least our building was smart enough.
You want to be safe? Sure, we all do.
I want to play chopsticks on 57th Street.
At least our building finally got smart and fired the drunk guy that slept on the job.
Did they fire him? I thought he was on vacation.
Oh no, he's done.
He was my new pal.
He's done.
I kind of was getting attached to that guy.
I turned the corner with the guy too.
I did, didn't you?
Yeah.
When we first got here, couldn't stand him.
Shouting matches every morning,
yelling
all sorts of
every
crap.
morning.
The guy was so pissed off that he had opened the building before 8 o'clock because he had a cushy job before we started doing mornings.
No one worked in this building before 8.
No, then all of a sudden he has to open the door for us at like 5 in the morning. And
it was ungodly at that hour. We were actually getting here at 4:30 or something.
Yeah, and he wasn't happy about that at all.
No.
Because he would stumble awake and stagger to the door with the keys. I'm like, this is the building security guy.
You know he used to just sleep during that time.
Yeah.
It was total nappy time for him.
There was rumor of alcohol. I don't know. But he's gone.
Yeah.
New guy downstairs. And I was just thinking about the security we had going over to A&E yesterday. So I had a whole tray of brownies that I brought in for everybody today.
Ooh.
And I go to the security guard. He's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get through him, you can do whatever you want in this building.
That's
I go,
it.
Hey, you want a brownie? He didn't even think twice. Grabbed one.
Really?
He got a good one.
Now, in a movie,
what if it was
that
late?
would have had some kind of drug in it.
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
he'd have been knocked out. And then you and Hans Gruber and all the other guys could have come in. And it would have been over, Johnny.
Well, he would have passed out.
Yeah.
And then you have to drag him down the hall and into that nice closet.
Drag him by his shirt shoulders.
Yeah, where he stays
his
asleep.
legs dragging on the ground.
White socks showing.
Yeah, of course. Put him in the closet.
Where he stays asleep until the mission's done.
You got to take his shirt off, though, and put it on so you look like the security guy, so when all your guys come in,
right,
you could give him the little nod.
But
you don't look at him, you just kind of nod.
But then in the end, he wakes up just in time to, foil our mission.
Yes.
Anyway, someone is like, whoa, wait a minute, Opie, back up. You guys were at A&E yesterday. We want details.
Oh. Their security is very good over there. They have ex-cops, I guess. Because one of them remembered pulling me over and giving me a ticket.
How weird was that?
He said for a seatbelt. He had everything right. But it could not have been a seatbelt ticket, because I just do not. The second I'm in my car, that seatbelt goes on, and I don't take it off until I get out. That's how I work. And he said it was a seatbelt ticket, but I think he gave me uninspected or something, some low-level ticket. But he remembered. He my name, everything. He said, I pulled you over. It was about 5 years ago. You had the seatbelt and you were speeding. I remember the speeding part down the belt. I was doing about 90 down what he later told me the cops call the killing field. That's great. Could you put up a fucking sign? It's a part of the Belt Parkway, right by Bay Ridge, right after the Verrazano. It's kind of a little before and a little after the Verrazano, where I swear to God you're at Daytona. It's a turn, it's banked, it's beautiful, and you can't help but go very fast there. And the cops call it the killing field. And I got pulled over there, and he remembered everything. But ex-cops working there, that's a security. You got to hand them your license, they enter it on the computer, and then spits out, they take your picture in the lobby. They take your picture, and the little ticket thing that you put on you, it gets spit out with a picture of you on it. But then you can't even use that because it's got a big stop sign on it. It says stop. So if you're walking around the halls, security sees that big stop sign, they stop you. The security guy has to then take a sticker and put it over the stop sign. So if you figure out a way to hack into the computer and print out one of those things, you still aren't going to go through the halls. This for A&E. What's going on at A&E that a terrorist is going to want to take that over? If they take over a TV network, aren't they going to want one that people are watching? NBC or something?
It wasn't about A&E, though. We learned it was because the Dutch douches are upstairs.
Oh, the Dutch consulate is in the same building. And right then when I heard that.
The Dutch douches versus the Punisher.
The Punisher.
Right when I heard the Dutch consulate was upstairs, then I just went, oh okay. Boy. Everyone's after them fucking Dutch. Who's after the Dutch?
And how can they get anything done? Forget it. Never mind. I'm not even going to try now.
Fuck. You were trying to say something and then you couldn't.
I had a joke about the army and wooden shoes.
Hey, it's the mumbler.
Stutterer.
Fuck. I know it was going to work, too.
Yeah.
I just knew. All right, anyway, so I guess we got to back up.
Ooh.
And talk about our latest TV meeting. Bill, I'm sure you can be involved in this fine discussion.
Bill's done some television. The guy's actually been on TV shows.
But for every guy like Bill Burr that's been on TV, on successful shows, you've been pitched a lot of dumb ideas, right? And had to take a lot of dumb TV meetings.
I've been the guy pitching the dumb idea. Yeah, people don't approach me with the TV idea. They look at me like, what do you got?
We go into we've taken a lot of phone calls. Say that, especially when we were off the air. Now, when we were off the air, we were looking for something to do. Couldn't be radio. We weren't allowed. We were being paid by Infinity Broadcasting to stay off the air. That's where the position they put us in.
Because they didn't want us to go up against Howard. It's a fact.
Right. But we could do other things. So our agent was fielding phone calls from. I don't know, are they production companies?
Low-level production companies.
Yeah. You know the name that turns up with a funny little graphic maybe at the end of a sitcom? You know? Sit, Ubu, sit. That old one. That's a production company. They're the ones that have the idea, that figure out who they want to do this, and go to the network that the show is airing on and say, look, here's the idea for the show, here's the idea for who we want to do it. We want to air on your network, and here's the idea. That's the pitch. We don't get the name that you see at the end of Survivor, the end of Cops, the end of all your favorite sitcoms, Simpsons, things like that. Right. We don't get that. We get the ones you just haven't heard of.
Right.
And they pitch these shows that they have an idea for. I guess they have an idea for Opie and Anthony to participate in.
They've been trying to get us on TV for years. No one could figure it out.
No one can figure it out. Everyone seems to think there's something for Opie and Anthony to do on television. We don't want to do putting cameras here in the studio because Howard's doing that. Imus is doing it now.
We would do that if we could get our own spin. You know, if we could come up with
if
our
there's
own
something
spin.
a little more unique about it.
But no one has been able to figure out that spin yet.
I'd rather just have cameras like that and actually do it and put it on the web because I really don't see that as a fucking television show. I see it as a web thing. So people could punch in, check the show out as we're doing it live. You don't have to worry about editing things down to find the exciting moments and do that for a show. You pop in, all 4 hours are online. You can watch when you want. Something's happening, you can pop in. Things like that.
We've been trying to turn these cameras on that are in the studio. Washington watches us every day. And we're like, well, if you guys are watching us, let the fucking fans watch the show.
Yeah, just give them the URL.
It's overhead cameras. It's no big deal. You're not going to see anything too crazy. But, you know, hardcore fans would love to check in and see, oh, wow, that's where Ann sits. That's where Bill Burr is sitting.
And if we have something going on the console here,
whatever,
they could get in.
Yeah, but for some reason, we just can't figure that out.
Yeah.
One of the many things we still are trying to figure out.
Eating a bagel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a big... Is that sesame?
It'll be as exciting as watching, paint drying. But still, there is an audience for it. People would check it out on the Internet.
But that's why I think it's more conducive to online than a television show.
Right. But our agent is just obsessed with this one production company. I don't even want to mention the name of these guys because they
had a good idea for you?
Because they have such problems that I don't want to be the one that destroys them.
Yeah.
They got such problems. And 2-3 years ago, we met with these guys because we had nothing else and we were reaching for anything. We had a really high-powered meeting with Comedy Central. We were supposed to take over the Man Show. We were about to negotiate with those guys, and then Viacom.
Same company that owned us for the radio. They're the ones that threw us off the air, so they pretty much didn't want us
on any of their properties.
Yeah.
And they own Comedy Central.
To this day, by the way, that's still going on.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want us on any of their properties.
Although Spike TV called yesterday, so we'll have to see what that's about. And I think that's still part of the Viacom family. I'm not positive. So we met with this low-level production company about 2 years ago. They had this idea that the more and more Ant and I looked at it, it's basically Mythbusters. It's Mythbusters.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the Mythbusters.
And 2 or 3 years ago, Mythbusters didn't find an audience yet. Mythbusters is a very big show now.
Yeah.
And we've had the guys on a few times. We love
Adam
them.
and Jamie,
we love the
fun
show.
guys.
We love having them on the radio. But they're pitching this show that is basically Mythbusters. And it was the same show they were pitching 2 years ago. And now they're revisiting it. And our agent got us involved with these guys again. So we're supposed to meet at their office yesterday at, 2 o'clock or whatever, so we show up. Anthony's already upstairs. I'm down on the sidewalk waiting for Anthony so we could, talk it over a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we know we're going into a disastrous situation.
Now, I just noticed. Now, we had been to other meetings. We went to a meeting at Telepictures, which you see the logo come up after a lot of the talk shows. A lot of the afternoon talk shows Telepictures did. I'm sure you've seen their logo. We've been to meetings there. When you walk into the Telepictures offices, the hallways are lined with those giant photos of the personalities that they handle.
Like
the shows that they have on.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie was part of Telepictures.
Some of those...
Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones was one of them?
Telepictures.
All those judge shows.
All the judge shows.
Judge, whatever, schmuck.
Yeah. They were all just lined, the hallways lined. All the offices, a lot of movement going on. People walking around the hallways.
The latest furniture, well designed.
all modern looking.
And tip-top shape.
Tip-top, Opie.
All sorts of awards, like awards I don't even know.
There were Emmys.
Cleos and Emmys.
Emmys.
Gold records.
Gold records,
and they don't even do recordings.
I saw an Oscar in the corner. I don't even know what that meant.
Have we gotten the point of professionalism across
Yes, you
with
have.
this scene we're painting
of
here?
a top-notch TV production
Right,
house?
right.
Fake foliage in the corner.
Of course. The cleaned leaves. A little maid comes in every day and wipes the leaves down.
Sure.
Well, we walked in yesterday.
Well, can I pick up from... So I find out that you're already upstairs. And all right. So I go in what looks like a broken-down warehouse, basically. Just it was like a warehouse building.
Dude, that elevator was a one-person elevator.
Well, I was in there with...
It was so small.
I was in there with another guy, and I got to the floor.
Yeah.
And I just sat there waiting for the door to open. He goes, "Oh no,
you got to push it.
You got to push the door open." I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
It's one of these elevators that like
it's a freight elevator, basically, that they're making believe is a regular elevator because this is the only space they could find in New York.
But it was
what
small.
I'm trying to say here.
It wasn't even a freight elevator where you could fit freight in it. There were 2 other people in there with me, and I swear to God, we were all touching each other.
Yeah,
it was
Anthony's
that
officially
small.
gay now.
Did they have like pictures of like snuff films
right.
that they had done on the walls?
So when you walk down the hallways, yeah, I remember this bitch. We offed her in Utah.
So I go through the door that is now the reception area, and it's all boxes and the secretary that's doing nothing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, there was. I saw nothing on the walls except dirt. I noticed. Now people might joke that I'm germaphobe or clean freak or something. I'm absolutely not.
No, Anthony's not.
I'm really not. This place was so unkempt. It was just the floor looked like it hadn't been vacuumed ever. There was just dust from like the ceiling on it, like ceiling tile particles on the floor. Everything was covered in a layer of dust. Like it had just been sitting there. The lamps on the desks, completely dust-ridden. Everything, dust everywhere. Old wood paneling. It just looked like an old, like a boiler room.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know where
you know how boiler room is like the low level of the stock market. Basically?
They set up banks of phones in these places until the cops come and arrest everybody,
and then they
just to sell them bad stock.
And then they go somewhere else.
And then they run off and set up camp somewhere else.
What's
but
that?
You're not worried about making the place look good.
Everything's written on like flash paper.
Yeah, so they can dump it in the waste paper basket and set it on fire.
So Ant's in there in the office getting the big pitch from the head muckety muck.
Yeah.
And his minions. And I walk into the office and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, this guy goes, "Sit down." And he points to this chair. That's like, how can you explain it?
It was like
see-through glass type of chair.
It was a chair you would see on Ronan Martin's Laugh-In, or
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange.
Very mid-70s.
It was plexi. It was like, Lexan, whatever that see-through stuff is. Completely see-through. And that round, molded, modular, cut out of an eggshell-shaped thing type.
Taken from the set of Rhoda.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You're
still knows.
And that egg cut out of an egg-shaped thing is sitting on a trumpet bell type pedestal that's sitting on the floor, and it swivels.
And this guy is pointing to the chair, very proud of the chair, going, "Sit down."
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he so excited about the chair?
Take a seat, me droogies.
So I sit down.
Food, all right.
So I sit down in the chair.
Don't call me dim no more.
And the guy goes, "You know what you're sitting in?" I'm like, "No." Well, when we produced Puff Daddy's Making the Band, or whatever that show was,
yeah,
number 2.
I don't even.
It wasn't even the original. We bought $100,000 worth of furniture, and they were going to just throw it all out. So we decided to take some of it back to the office. So that chair was used in the production of Making of the Band 2.
Ooh, now I'm flattered.
He's been bragging about the Making of the Band thing for many years. We cannot find any proof that he ever worked on the show, which is creepy.
I didn't even know that show came out yet.
Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Dude, the killer thing about what they do or don't do or anything came when Opie asks them, hey, what are you working on now? Because when you go into a production company, you kind of like to know, if you can't see the pictures on the wall of all the personalities and all the shows, what they're working on at the moment. And the answer that came out...
He said he's doing a reality show based on a...
It's an equestrian reality show.
Equestrian reality show.
It's a reality show, people, based on horseback riding.
Horseback riding. And then...
Anything
like
else?
Olympic horseback riding.
And
Olympic-style
what were
horseback.
some of the other things he said?
The untitled Donnie Most Project.
And then he's doing something for the Travel Channel.
Yeah, its tentative title is I Still Got It.
Then there's something about...
Where'd it go? Donnie Most in the 90s.
And what were some of the other shows? The Travel Channel, where you...
It was something for the Travel Channel where you take somebody's job. It's sort of a glamour job for a week. Was that
yeah,
one.
and then he's just like, yeah, the last year has just been crazy. Everything has come together. But he's mentioning these shows, and we're like, holy shit, he's still doing nothing.
Like, what?
And then The Office had absolutely no hint that this company has been successful on any level. No hint. Right?
Well, it's because they're so busy with all the successful shows.
All
they
these
don't
things
have time
coming
to
up.
hire cleaning people or
No.
put photos up.
So we're ready to go.
You know, if you the whole point I was making about the dirty office is that if you have an office where professional people are coming in, celebrities, agents, management, to get shows off the ground, whatever, you would think you would want to make a nice presentation, right? You would think it would be vacuumed and the lamps would be shined or something, just something, and that just wasn't the impression that they were giving off.
It was very obvious that they needed us way more than we needed them, and we're going to make that point in a second. But so now, we're going over the pitch because we're going over to A&E, and that's the only reason we took this meeting, because we're like, well, he did get a meeting with A&E. That's kind of strange. Something's got to be going on. Maybe he's got his shit together since the last time we talked to this guy 2-3 years ago. So we're getting the pitch together in our heads because we're going to have to present this to the bigwigs at A&E, and his idea is Mythbusters meets Jackass.
Good Lord.
How do you combine those two shows?
Well,
Well,
it's like Mythbusters without any of the interesting science that goes along with it. Yeah, it's like Mythbusters
with lawsuits,
right. With lawyers and loss of finances being involved.
Right.
Just like Mythbusters, only you spend some time in court. Also defending yourself.
What myths were you guys going to bust? What was like the
Well,
example?
that's a good question, Bill, because, basically the pitch of the show is like, you're a bunch of guys and you always wondered things. Like, I wonder how it would be to, like, ram a car into an above-ground pool, let's say.
Right. What would that be like?
What would that be like? But see, now that we have a TV show, we could see how that's like.
Now we can all get
and
together.
we do it.
Me, Opie, Jimmy, Bill, you're cordially invited.
Can I sit in that day?
You can sit in.
I'll be in the pool.
You can be in the pool with little swimmies on, and we'll ram the car into
And this
it.
is what we hear a lot.
Now, what myth are you?
There's no myth. It's just stupid things that you wondered about.
There's no myth.
How
It
long does
just
a car
happens.
last if you do put sugar in the gas tank? That type of crap. And we, because Aunt and I have such great chemistry and we're brilliant. This is all stuff.
We're magic.
This was all stuff they were telling us. I'm not trying to be a cocky asshole today. The chemistry between you guys. You guys are some of the funniest guys ever. You guys will just do what you do.
Well, that's how they fill in the hole by appealing to your ego.
There's a huge hole in this pitch that exactly is filled
We
in
have a
with
concept.
with you guys will just do what you do best.
We have a concept, a car, an above-the-ground pool, car, drive into pool.
Go.
All right, all that other time for the hour, you guys just do what you do.
So then I'm starting to ask the hard questions. I'm like, well, do you have a list of things that you were thinking we should do on this show? He goes, oh my God, I got hundreds. And then he goes, Jamie, or whoever his assistant was, go get the list. And this kid comes back with a 3-page treatment for the show that lists only 4 ideas. And that's not what I was asking for. I was asking for the big list to get a feel if this guy is even creative enough to come up with interesting things that we could show on TV.
After a year, you'd probably come up with a lot of ideas, I would think.
He still has about 4. One of his big ones is to drop a piano through a house.
Through the roof of a house. Look, Derek just went, I couldn't hear him. I saw his hands go up and saw his mouth go, what? I swear, that's everyone's reaction to this. Including the fine folks at A&E.
That's going to be one of those shows where they like the whole half hour before they drop the piano into the house, they just keep raising it up. Yeah. Now, what do you think's going to be happening here?
That's a pretty heavy piano, Opie.
What about that? I mean, it's funny. I can't even come up with anything funny about it. It's so fucking awful.
And that is what the people at A&E were picking up on.
I have to find this one. Just keep talking, Ant, about whatever.
All right. Well, we meet with them at their offices, their dirty offices, and
Please
then
save the limo for me.
Well, that's where I was going.
I know.
We're ready to go to the big A&E meeting.
I just got to find this one.
We
email.
all head downstairs and
hold on before you head downstairs. And I'm
all right. Well, now I'm stuck in the stairwell.
No, well,
what do I do?
Go back upstairs in the office and
explain
to Bill.
The door closed behind me, and now it's locked.
I understand,
Opie. But what do I do?
Explain. I think I might have found it. Explain to Bill what this guy thought.
What it's like to be locked out.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Here it is. This is an actual email.
Someone open this.
Anthony, just do what you do.
All right, we're back.
Just do what you do.
All right. Listen, we're back in the office. We're back in the office.
All right.
Focus.
Back in.
And I found the email on my Crackberry here that was actually sent to me before the meeting. It says, dude, totally pumped, ready for a big, and then it's a question, ready for a big picture that happens within 2 to 3 years, as in a movie. And this is his idea. We make a killer, culty, hilarious show. The DVD home video sales go nuts after year 1. Think Dave Chappelle. He only did $60 million after his first season. $60 million.
How many people are going to want to see the piano over and over again? So you're gonna be buying the DVD.
So he's like,
you're gonna want to revisit that moment,
of course, and then think of the extras,
fingertips.
The stuff that wasn't aired. All the hilarity that was on the air, there's maybe 2 more hours for every segment that wasn't that we could do as behind the scenes, the DVD extras.
Right.
So
commenting on them raising the piano up.
Maybe hitting
minutes.
A key.
Oh, yeah. So here it is again. We make a killer, culty, hilarious show. Then it goes to DVD, and we sell like Dave Chappelle did. Only $60 million. That's no problem.
We'll blow up right past that.
And then about mid-year 2 or late year 2, we do the feature movie picture deal. Think Jackass, what they did. That movie only cost $4 million to make, and it did $150 million worldwide, and it still rents out the wazoo. And then he writes, is that a great freaking scenario? Hey, it could happen. See you Tuesday. So
they call me the wazoo.
So he's getting us all. He's getting us all pumped in the office because now we have to go over to A&E and punch this horse shit. This horse shit. Because now we're stuck, and I'm thinking I'm like, we're missing something here. He got a meeting with A&E. This guy has no business getting meetings with A&E. Okay?
That's horrendous.
In my opinion, right?
Oh yeah.
The whole BlackBerry thing. I mean, you're just predicting like success. Okay, we make a movie, right?
Yeah.
And it's so fucking huge that we make another one, and then another one after that. Like the Back to the Future trilogy.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? There's no idea there.
No. I see us doing all 3 at once. To save money, like Lord of the Rings. We will do all 3 of them at the same time, thus saving money, and then just making... I'm seeing gazillions of dollars, if I may use gazillions.
Picture this scenario. You're playing wiffle ball in Central Park. A member of the Yankee organization's walking by. They need a first baseman. Just go with me on this one.
This is.
Then you sign with them. You make zillions of dollars. You're
Right.
fucking Jessica Alba.
Right. We get endorsement deals now. We go for the sneaker endorsements.
Could happen.
Everything.
See it too.
Now you're having trouble with steroids. But we get you off of that. And it works out as a positive. Now you're doing the talk shows.
Yeah.
And people find out you could act. Now you're cast in Die Hard 7. That's what he's doing.
Dude, hear me out. This isn't too crazy. Hear me.
So the whole time we're like,
The head of the studio dies. You're wearing a suit that day, so they give you the job. It can happen. It happens, man.
Now you're making the movies. That's right. You're making the call. Con, we're flying you off to Con.
so we're just
And dude, you're set for life.
So we're just sitting there going, something doesn't make sense. This guy's full of shit. But he got a meeting with A&E. You got to go to A&E.
Yeah, that was the sticking point with us, is the fact that, all right, there is a meeting, though, with A&E.
Remember, by
There's
the
a channel.
remember by the
It
way,
is a channel. I have passed by it.
remember by the way, when we were on commercial radio, we took many meetings with Telepictures. Key to this story coming up. So we leave the office finally to go over to A&E, and waiting outside for Anthony and I is a limo because they're treating us like stars today.
It's the limo. That's short for limousine.
That's
people.
right, limousine.
Limousine.
You hear that, Derek? Limousine.
That's right.
Only the best for the boys. So we go downstairs, right? There's a driver that just doesn't want to be there. He's like in between, driving kids around, to proms and stuff. Like
Yeah.
this guy is just like a low level limousine guy.
But it's a limo.
Well, it's a limo, and that's fine. I'm not trying to trash the people out there, but if this guy is like trying to treat us like rock stars, there's you could go up many levels even in a limousine.
It's a dirty cummerbund.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's got like a little
dried out
I
corsage.
love when you see all those whores standing like through the sunroof going,
Yeah.
woo, woo. Going down the street. I always want to see them like rear end the car in front of them, just
chop him in half.
because they're always trying to come off like that's actually their car.
Right.
Because that's how
Waving
like
to
Bill
everybody.
Gates and them act when they're in a limo. Bill
When
Gates
they're going
just
to a
stands
big
through the-
meeting somewhere. Hanging out the sunroof of his limo. Yes.
So the guy has a flask in the front seat in between jobs.
I drive people everywhere.
But hey, they're treating us right.
Yeah.
They're treating us right. They ordered the limo to make us feel good as we go over to A&E.
Yeah, we get in.
So we get in, 7 or 8 of us in a limousine that fits maybe 3 people comfortably.
Oh, it's not a super stretch.
No, it's
where you
it's
can actually fit 7 people.
It's a stretch Dodge Omni.
It's
and
a Ford Taurus. It was 2 seats facing each other.
Right.
Which is that type of limo that is the smallest kind of limo.
Our knees were
It's
pretty
good
much...
for 4 people, that type of limo. If you got 4 people and want a limo, that's the one you get.
And there was, I think, 7 people.
7 people.
Yeah, I was across from Anthony. Our knees were touching. And then I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I pulled the door closed, and the handle falls off.
The handle comes off in Opie's hand.
I'm like,
I think I took this limo.
I'm like, holy
It was so
shit.
funny. We just looked at each other like, okay, this is great.
Dirty butterscotch interior.
Right. The whole way over, the guy's getting pumped because it's showtime, man. He's like, "Are you guys pumped? Are you guys ready?" And I we're just playing this out at this point to get a good...
Telly Savalas used to use this limo when he used to go over to the set on Kojak.
Right.
It's a Delta 88 stretch.
We're on 2 levels at this point. This guy's getting pumped for the meeting, and Anthony and I are just going through it because we know it'll make for good radio today. That's all.
Yeah. And
At this point, I know this is going to just be a disaster.
And we are headed over to A&E.
A&E.
I am what they call, I am an optimist. I am not a bridge burner by no means. I like playing things out to see where they're going to go. And if you're going to make some relationships in this business that we call show, Opie, I like to do it with a smile and good spirits.
You're professional.
So when we meet people at A&E or Telepictures or anything, regardless of who is taking us there or the mood we're in, they will get a smile, a greeting, and some humorous anecdotes
They call
from
me
this
the
person.
optimist.
I'm the optimist. Hey, Beaner.
And A&E doing some fine things on TV lately. So we did the security thing already earlier, and we go upstairs, and we meet the people that we have to now pitch this horse shit to.
And again, as always, they're always very nice, very cordial, nice people that you meet at these things.
I believe it was Nancy, right?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah.
And a guy named Michael.
Michael
from Telepictures.
Michael was working at Telepictures during our meetings over there.
Who is a huge fan of the Opie and Anthony
Great
program.
guy, huge fan of the show.
He was
understands
the one
us, what we do.
He was the one that dragged us into Telepictures for a bunch of meetings as they try to figure out a TV show for us.
Mm-hmm.
He has since left Telepictures about a year ago, now works for A&E. That's the reason we were meeting with A&E, not because of this idea.
Not because of the idea or the guy.
Because we couldn't figure out why, because something didn't match up. It was Michael who heard about this pitch that had Opie and Anthony as a host, and he goes, Opie and Anthony, holy crap, these guys are really talented, and we've been trying to figure out something for them for years at Telepictures. We should at least meet with them.
Yeah, at least meet with them. So we walk into that huge generic conference room thing.
Do they have like those precinct desks that are made out of nothing but metal?
This was always so was the conference room. It was the big wooden table with those little conference call things in the middle and a lot of chairs. The little screen up on the wall for the PowerPoint presentation things, and your basic conference room, glass wall out to the hallway, so make sure no shenanigans are happening there if you're the brass. And we sit down, and the first thing I notice is the woman, Nancy.
Yeah,
she's in charge.
Oh yeah,
she's the one running this show.
She's the one you got to impress.
She's the one that has to be impressed. And she's sitting there, and the first little inkling I got that there was a problem was the fact that she looked at one of the other guys, I'm not sure which one, and said, well, I haven't read anything or heard anything about this. Rob hasn't told me anything about the pitch yet. Which led me to believe, I was thinking to myself now, if Rob was excited about this, wouldn't he have gone to the one that was really in charge and said, we're meeting with these people today, here's what they're pitching, here's the show, it's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. She went into this ice cold, had no inkling what this show was going to be about.
And I gulped, Anthony gulped, and, the production company we were with there, who claimed that we were so close to a TV deal, it wasn't even funny. They pretty much just had to meet us.
But the head woman there
doesn't even
didn't
know
have a
about
clue
this pitch.
What this was about. So now the pitch starts. And all we needed was Opie's instant replay because he has the cricket ones. Because that is exactly what happened. He goes with the pitch.
The main guy on our side.
And there's the pitch.
It was kind of like that Seinfeld George thing.
I absolutely felt like I was in that fucking episode of Seinfeld. They sit down in front of the NBC.
Yeah.
And George, all proud, goes, "It's a show about nothing." And the guy running the network is like, "What? Nothing? It's got to be about something." And George just sits back all confident. "Nope, nothing, nothing." And Jerry's all nervous.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's about something. No, it's not. It's a show about nothing."
So,
and everyone's just flabbergasted in the room and cannot believe that these words are coming out of this guy's mouth. And I was sitting right there in the middle of it.
We lived it. So this guy, he goes, all right, the show. It's Opie and Anthony hosting a show. It's Mythbusters meets Jackass.
There's the big pitch.
Oh. Dead silence. And Nancy goes, I wouldn't use the word Jackass whatsoever. Yeah. You know how many lawsuits are pending because of that show?
Yeah, that's probably not a good selling point.
So she's taking the legs out from underneath one of her own guys?
No, this is the
guy that we were with, the production guy.
Oh, I get it.
No, he's now finally pitching A&E.
Yeah.
You know, the A&E, those three guys are sitting at the head of the table.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, it's Mythbusters meets Jackass. And she's like, I wouldn't use the word Jackass whatsoever. There's so many lawsuits pending. That show has been a complete disaster.
Yeah.
And
we have 2 shows, and the A&E people are like, we have 2 shows that are all done, ready to air, that we can't air because of lawsuits, because there's too many similarities with the Jackass
And our show
concept.
is a very dangerous version of Mythbusters, let's be honest here. You know, he's talking about, like, you know, taking a car, you know, going 55 miles an hour and then slamming it into reverse to see what happens. You know, all sorts of stuff that...
I didn't know there were myths about that. Isn't it more like...
Stuff like that where kids would probably try to do this at home. So now we have no pitch whatsoever. Our whole pitch has been destroyed less than 30 seconds into it.
She had just wiped it out. She took a huge sword and just hacked his legs off,
Right.
and he fell down.
No, but
and
this-
we are sitting there.
Nothing to say.
Hold on, he didn't fall down then. The bozo's not getting it at this point. He's not getting it. He goes, but Jackass was the hottest show on TV, and it made a movie.
Ixnay on the ACJSA.
He goes, I'm 47. I still rent the movie with my friends and still laugh. It just continues to make. He's like this with his hands. Continues
And
to
we're
make
like,
money.
oh no, he's still going. Oh no, he's still going. Me and Opie are
And
just
are they
sitting there.
occasionally glancing over at the two of you like you...
Oh
actually
yeah. Well,
witnessed the shit?
we got the glance through the whole thing, and the most horrific glance I got was when she goes, all right, so now they're just playing it out because we can't leave after a minute.
Right.
That's embarrassing for everybody.
And unlike us, they're polite and nice.
Yeah.
Like when we're in these situations with our radio show, we're like, well, you get the fuck out of here.
Just leave.
You have no business being in here.
So after
we had
a
no
minute-
business being in that room. But they're nice people, so they're like going to at least play with us a little bit.
So after a minute, she's playing out the idea. She goes, okay, so you got this thing, blah, blah, blah. She goes, so after this stunt, whatever it is, happens, how does it end? What is then the wrap
like
up?
Mythbusters, you know, you got
Is the myth true?
Or
is
false?
it false? Is it plausible? They run through their results. That's how it works. On this one, so how does it end? So she looks over at the guy that's pitching. He doesn't say anything because there is no ending. Then she looks over at me. I was instantly back in English class.
I heated up,
The
man.
teacher just asked me a question I don't know the answer to, and I sit looking. I'm looking like, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. Please don't. I don't know how it ends. I can't even fake how it ends. I can't come up with an ending. I don't know.
So the guy, you know, from the TV production company, he has to come up with something. So he's like, that's the beauty of it. Nothing gets accomplished
Nothing.
at the end.
It's a show about nothing. It doesn't end.
There's
no show. Before you know it, the credit rolls.
There's no conclusion. And he's looking at Ant and I, because now he's trying to bail himself out. He's like, those guys will just do what they do best.
Do what they do.
It's how they interact
We
with the
do what
stunt.
we do.
And then she obviously goes, this is basically Mythbusters, is what you're freaking
We
pitching
do
us.
what we do. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Right.
Hey, on to the next show.
And then she goes, all right, let's go with this further, because she's...
Shh.
But now I think she's just playing with the guy like a little cat with a wounded mouse. So she has a better story to tell at the Christmas party, because she goes, okay, what do we put on the side of a bus? You know, because we have to promote this new show with Opie and Anthony.
She even said, she goes, I don't want to be cliche about this, you know, but what's the side of the bus? What do we put on the side of the bus? Which is, you know, how do you wrap it up into a bus board?
Right.
Into something that you would see drive by on the side of a bus and look at it and know what it's about.
And people would go, wow, I got to watch that show.
Gotta watch
and
it.
she
Just
even
have your two heads, and he goes, huh? Huh? This is it right here. Come on, people.
Why weren't you at the pitch with us?
That's hilarious.
Of course. Huh?
Both of us making that stupid face.
Says it all, Bill. We needed Bill Burr there.
Here's Opie and Anthony.
You might as well just have fun at that point. That's like when you're bombing in a day, like, this girl's not going to do anything with me. You just start fucking staring at her tits.
Bill, but at this point, we are bombing so bad. We have nothing to do with it. They're using us to try to get this horseshit.
We were the eye candy.
Right, but I'm sitting there because I remember, like, deja vu, where we were in meetings like this and we had no radio career, and I was thinking we were back with no radio career, and then I went, oh, wait a minute, we're doing really well for XM Satellite Radio. This doesn't mean shit in the end. So then I started really enjoying
having fun with
the interaction that was going on.
At first, though, you're right. It was a flashback.
It was a flashback, like, we're losers and we have nothing.
Be in one of these meetings when you don't have a job, when you're not doing radio on a daily basis, when your future is not so bright, you don't know what's going to happen. Very up in the air. You're sitting in these meetings going, wait, this is what my life is now?
Yeah.
This is, but Ope's right. It's snapped in both of our heads. It's like, wait a minute.
We're all right.
I go to work every day.
We're all right.
We got great careers. XM Satellite Radio. Oh.
Whew. You know how bad it got for us? We had to take a meeting with this production house before, like we've said many times during this conversation. We also had we took phone calls from an internet radio company. And we actually took a meeting in the middle of nowhere in Jersey with a video game company.
Dude, who was the internet guy? He was a child star. Which guy was he?
Oh no, that was another thing. The dude from Wonder Years, the older brother.
The older brother
from Wonder Years.
Yes, our career was hinging on the older brother from the Wonder Years.
He's doing internet radio now.
Doing internet radio, calling our agent.
Yeah, big fan of our show. So the lady from A&E's like, what's on the side of the bus? And then she gives us a great example.
What's on the bus?
Right. She goes,
huh?
She goes, growing up Gotti. Just, sells the show.
Sells the show. You got the graphic, you got the little diamond pinky ring looking thing, you got the Gotti name, you know what you're getting.
So she goes, growing up Gotti, what do you got for this show? And so this dude goes, what's on the box?
Yeah. Well, what I see on the side of the box is he didn't even get the bus thing right.
Opie and Anthony, and then he mentions the name of the show, which means nothing. And then she's like, guys, this is Mythbusters. It's being done like crazy all over TV, and she's letting him down lightly. But this guy is still clueless. He's like, well, can we come back to you? We'll work on it. We'll come at it from some different angles, and we'll rework it. And can we?
Now you're begging.
Can we?
Now you're begging.
How many times I've said that?
Yeah.
Oh no, you've been there.
So he's like, can we have another meeting? And she, because she's the big boss and she has the underlings with her, she goes, yeah, you could email Rob or Michael, and we'll see where it goes. Just not me, because she's basically saying, I'm done with you guys unless a miracle happens.
Did you see the big charm bracelet she had on?
Yeah.
She had this big charm bracelet on that was also a watch.
Yeah.
And I noticed very early on, I heard clang, clang, as she turned her watch to look at it. Like, it was like wind chimes on her watch where you couldn't miss. She was looking at her watch. So, you ever try to sneak a look at your watch and really not look like you're looking at your watch?
Yeah.
And you do something like, oh, I got a splinter, or my fingernail, and you kind of can look.
Yeah.
Hers was clang, 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 clang.
Big charm bracelets
looking at her watch.
It was like,
that happened to me last year. I was paired up with this writer who I just totally misread him. A lot of writers are like totally like introverted. So when you go to meet, like all their funny is on the page. So the fucking meetings are so awkward. But this guy, he had like energy and shit, and I totally misread him. He was a fucking psycho. And before we go in there, I'm like, okay, man, I'm the comedian, so, you just kind of kick me into bounds, and I'll pitch this thing. And he says, oh, no, he goes, I'll handle it. He goes, I am the pitch master. I swear to God he said that. This dude went in there, just grabs the reins and starts pitching this fucking idea. It was like a Tarantino movie. It's like the end came first, then the beginning was in the middle. Travolta's like walking by in the background, and people are just like... 2 minutes into it, people are there like playing with their pens.
Oh,
and
no.
I literally had to sit them down and just be like, dude, when fucking people are like winding their watches and looking at something on their ankle as you're pitching this allegedly $1 million... Oh, and he started off so big. This idea is going to change television.
Wow.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
That's like when they bring you up as a comedian, like, oh, this next guy. Oh, you are in for a treat, everybody. Hold on to your hats, because this fucking guy, and you're just sitting there standing like, dude, take it down. Take it down. I got nothing. I got nothing that can follow that. That's so true. Yeah, but if this guy isn't the funniest fucking guy you've ever seen, you're like, ugh. Yeah, what people don't understand, there's a lot of shit on TV there are so many other ideas that obviously never make it to TV.
Yeah.
That's the reality show that one of these networks should make. Is a whole show on these pitch meetings because it's so ridiculous. So anyway,
so bad. Your dream of the pitch meeting, by the way, is to go in, sit down in front of these people, pitch your show, and have them just howling. Have these jaded network people howling at your shit, just sweating because they're laughing, enjoying it, shaking your hand, going, you come in tomorrow and we'll green light this thing. And to sit there and have them looking like dogs when you whistle at them, and they tilt their head and their ears go up. They're just staring at you is horrific.
So we're almost done. So then
someone said we should have broken out the Aristocrats Act.
Yeah, ta-da! Ta-da! So let's move on because
I'm fucking Opie, and then
we gotta hurry up the story because Richard Cheese is here with his band. They gotta play a few numbers before they get out of here. But so he's like, well, can we rework this and represent it to you? And she's being nice, like, yeah, you could email Rob or whatever. And she says, a couple of weeks or whatever, maybe we could, see where you're at.
Yeah.
And he goes, a couple of weeks? I was hoping 6:30.
Yeah, she goes, yeah, when, it was actually before she said a couple of weeks. She goes, yeah, at some point, we'll get back together and, if you can rework this and rehash it. And he goes, yeah, how about 6:30?
Not showing how desperate he is at all.
Oh, get it, right away.
That's funny.
It's like, well, a couple of weeks or...
Because then he's like...
Never.
I bet you if we all just went to happy hour and had a few beers, you'd see it my way.
Yeah.
He's getting nothing,
Let's
dude.
bring in alcohol.
Nothing.
Let's bring some alcohol into this and...
So, with beads of sweat pouring down his... Did he have flop sweat?
I couldn't look at anybody.
Anthony said he was holding back flop sweat.
I was looking at my water. I was looking at my bottle of water, my bottle of conference room table water.
Did you hear me openly just start laughing a few times?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was uncomfortable and it was getting the best of me. I do the same thing on the radio show. I just started laughing. And nothing funny because I was just so uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So then the meeting is finally officially over, and the reason we knew it was over was they changed the subject, and Nancy goes, so, is it still nice outside? I'm like,
oh, boy.
She is now having a conversation with me that I have with my grandma.
You know when you've pitched a great idea that you'll start talking about the weather.
Yeah,
and not the idea right till you're out of the building.
Because I picture when Seinfeld was pitched and all these other great shows, everybody loves Raymond. I bet you they're talking right up to the elevator. So anyway, we'll get back together,
Yeah.
Instead, we're getting.
Yeah.
So is it still nice out there?
Yeah, we want first shot at this. They do that.
Yeah.
Shit. We want first shot at this. Don't
we
talk to anybody
else. You're not going anywhere else.
Yeah, and they follow you all the way down. Making sure that everyone's on the same page as
they gave us directions to Spike TV.
Right. So we get the "so is it nice outside" conversation. I'm like, oh my god, we're talking about the weather.
Yeah.
So we're now in the elevator. They're gone. We said goodbye, and Michael from Telepictures, who's the guy that really gets us in our show, was cool, and he goes, "We'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch." So then we're in the elevator, and this clown that we were with the whole time, he goes, should we say what he said about it?
Oh, my God. Let's just say the woman that was in charge over there, that he had pitched this to, and she wasn't very, I don't know, she didn't find it very interesting. He had some very derogatory remarks for her when
we're in the elevator alone. He goes, did anyone else feel what I was feeling? She's a real...
I can smell your cunt.
She's a real C. Oh, geez. But then he goes...
That's like the awful comedian just blaming the crowd.
Right.
You guys fucking suck.
No,
you do.
And so Ann and I are looking at each other. Everyone in the elevator knows it's so done. This thing is done. Rip it.
You can't
throw it through the shredder. This
you cannot
ain't
have
happening.
Misinterpreted that meeting.
Right. The
you
elevator
can't have thought it
is
went
moving
well.
like half a mile an hour. Like it's like everyone just got raped, and you can't look at each other. You're so ashamed,
dude. So we're in the elevator, and it's so done. And the guy's like, he's so delusional. He's like, "Did you guys feel it? We are so close. We're so close.
Dude.
We'll just get back to our office. We're going to rework this thing, and you and I and Aunt will all be in touch with emails, and we'll get back together real soon. We are so close. You guys can feel it, right? And we're like, yeah, we can feel it.
The second he left you guys, he burst into tears.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
No,
we're on the sidewalk, and he goes, yeah, I think this needs a little tweaking.
A little
tweaking, but we'll get back to them after tweaking.
This thing needs a machete to the jugular.
That's like, no, I think we'll all be fine. It just needs a little tweaking.
Please get to your
It would have been so funny, people. Let me tell you how funny the bit I just was going to do would have been. It would have been like, please get to your lifeboats, people, as the Titanic is sinking and he's saying everything's fine, like the pitch meeting, like that, but only, and coming out of this would have been really funny, but this does...
All right, get some batteries for it.
I need a new bullhorn! I need a new bullhorn!
It didn't need batteries because the red light was on. There had been a constant problem with the volume knob.
I always wondered what it looked like when Carrot Top bombs.
Yeah,
pulls out a prop that just doesn't work.
Right. Just smash.
So pulls out the toilet seat with the toupee on it, and the toupee falls up. Well, there goes that joke. You think when you work a big casino.
Yes, Hawk, I need a new bullhorn. Yeah, that one broke.
I'm sure there's a toy store that's open at this hour.
That one, I need a new bullhorn.
So,
he came in with the batteries.
Too late. A little too late.
It wasn't batteries. The red power light was on. Everything. It was broken. Somebody broke it.
How many of those got busted in New Orleans? Get into the super.
So we're on the sidewalk, and he's delusional. He thinks it still has a shot, and we're like, yeah.
Yes.
We're like, yeah. And they walk off excitedly. And Aunt and I are standing on the sidewalk, and that's when we realized that there's no limo to take us back.
Yeah, it was a one-way limo trip.
And we were on the other side of Manhattan.
Completely across town.
It wasn't like, the limo actually served a purpose. It was a ride.
That's probably because the driver had a live feed of the pitch meeting. And it's just like, what? This shit is going nowhere.
I'm out of here.
It just shows you what this production company is all about. He hired a cheesy limo company to take us one way. So then Aunt and I are just laughing the whole way back to this area.
Now we're walking back. How many blocks?
We walked 30 blocks.
30 blocks
we
had to walk.
Blocks.
But the whole way...
Because it was rush hour, too. We don't want to jump in a cab and all that.
The whole way, though, we are fucking laughing our balls off.
We're like, it's Mythbusters with lawsuits.
With lawsuits. It's a great pitch. Oh...
So
that was the big pitch for yesterday.
A new thing we're going to attempt to do on this show is take you a little more inside with the show. This is an actual email that I wrote to our agent this morning.
I got an email from Nancy over at A&E, by the way. It just said, "Good luck, bro."
This is what I wrote to my. This is what I wrote to our agent this morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I woke up in the hotel and I checked my emails. Just one email from Opie. I opened it and I got my first chuckle of the day. Thank you, Opie.
Because we're not bullshit. We're not fooling around anymore. We're just not. At this point in our careers, we're not going through this bullshit anymore. So I write, I hear that Spike TV called yesterday. When you talk to them today, do not pull the name,
said production company,
the name of the production company that we were with yesterday at A&E, into this discussion with Spike TV. Anthony and I have no confidence that these guys can pull off a show. I'm sure Ross, who's our agent's brother, because he was at the meeting, has filled you in on the disastrous meeting we had. At this stage of our careers, we shouldn't have to be involved with lower-level production companies. production company that we were with yesterday, I don't want to give their name out, needs us so much more than we need them. The only reason A&E took the meeting is because Michael from Telepictures now works there. We were completely embarrassed yesterday. End of story.
Larry from Jersey goes, was the limo driven by a monkey? That would have made a great TV show. Imagine monkey limo driver. I would pitch that. That's hysterical.
You probably
take me to
it.
59th Street. He's a fucking monkey, and he drives a limo. Da-da-da-da-da. He's a monkey. He drives a limo. I'm pitching that one.
What?
That's a great show.
What a great day. It was a great day, by the way.
Yeah, but you know what? You guys laughed.
Side of the bus.
It was a great day for us yesterday.
No-brainer.
When you guys walking up the street laughing, that's what gets you through those pitch meetings. I've been out in L.A. pitching with somebody else, and as you're bombing, and you almost, after like the third meeting you go into that you're bombing, you almost know what the hell you're going to be laughing at when you leave, so you almost start laughing
the same
in the middle of it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But
everybody's been there.
We were actually talking about how horrible those were when you first did them. Like, and you'd walk out and it was serious, and you're like, oh, God, that didn't go well, did it? And you're kind of glad when you've been in it a few years and you know that, oh, my God, that stunk on ice, and you can laugh about it. It's not just like,
because we have jobs
my God,
and stuff, you know?
my whole life just crumbled in there.
I bombed at CBS one time. I swear to God, it was like a 10-minute pitch. I was bombing so bad, I blew through it in like a minute and a half.
Oh,
my mouth is all dry, and then I'm just sitting there, and they're just staring at me. Oh, I started doing jokes for my act from like '92. You know, what's up with this crisscross, huh? These guys are crazy, and they were just like, all right, boys, it's gonna be sunny out today, huh?
Hey, it's kind of warm.
Take it easy. Fuck.
It's hilarious, man.
Shit.
It is just hilarious. So there you have it. That was our day yesterday. I hope it was entertaining for you folks out there in Radio Land.
Yeah. Why is Anthony staying at a hotel? Because I don't want to drive back to Long Island after one of those meetings in rush hour traffic, my friend. I'm a fancy man. I don't sit in traffic on the Long Island Expressway. Take that.
He wants to cry and
he
go
wants
to room
to
service.
No, he wants to go to the fucking message board. Anthony's in a hotel. We get thrown out. What happened? The moths took over. They were sleeping in my bed. I had to leave.
There you go. Coincidentally, we took some wiffle ball bats ourselves at A&E.
Yes, at A&E.
Now, was that yesterday you did that?
That was indeed yesterday, yes.
We get a lot of Richard Cheese people saying, oh, Richard Cheese, you got to do a TV show. And I'll say, all right, well, you go ahead and get me the people who want to do it, who work at the network. I don't need to go pitch them. I'm not going anywhere near that because they're all about saying no. Because they keep their job if they say no. If they never spend any money in the development budget and they never give anyone a show, they keep their job.
They have shows that are running. It's not like there's dead air.
Exactly.
So why
develop anything new?
Something new that might rock the boat and get them thrown out?
I had a pitch meeting with VH1 last time I was in New York in June, and this guy, he's been a Richard Cheese fan. He calls me in. He sits me down in a nice little office. He's like, so we'd like to do a show. And I'm like, great. What show did you want to do with Richard Cheese? I don't know. What did you want to do? And I go, I don't know. You've got the cameras. What do you normally put in front of them? You know, pick something. We'll do whatever you want.
That is exactly what happens with us. People say, we want Opie and Anthony for a show. Okay, what's the idea? We just, you guys do the thing.
This makes me feel so good because I always had meetings. I didn't even understand what a meeting was when I first got into business. Be like, yeah, you know, you killed an Aspen, and somebody at Merrimack's wants to meet with you. And I didn't know I had to pitch ideas, so I just come in there. Billy, we saw you at Aspen. You were really funny. I'd be like, thanks.
So, what do you see for yourself? What do you see yourself do? I don't know. I thought that's what I was here for.
Yeah. I liked Sanford and Son when I was growing up. I liked it too. Remember the one where Lamont fell down the stairs? All right, Bill. Nice meeting with you. And that would just be the end of it. And I'd walk out like, what the fuck was that?
What happened?
I had an idea for you guys. How about like something like Mythbusters meets Jackass? Have you thought of this?
Wow. See,
that's
now
a
why
good idea,
couldn't
right?
we get that pitched?
But with more lawsuits.
even more lawsuits.
I can see it on the side of the box.
That was the best point of the meeting when Ed and I realized, holy shit, he's pitching Mythbusters to A&E.
How did you guys? I mean,
I see Sesame Street meets Jackass. How did this guy, children doing the stunts that normally drunken, drugged-out adults would do.
How did this guy get the green light to pitch a show for you without your approval?
I believe it was Bob saying, "Guys, go to our agent." So we knew about this. We approved of it because our agent.
I might have to start repping
said,
you guys.
"Hey, go." And another thing, the truth of the matter is, I wanted to meet the people in charge over there at A&E.
At this point, I think our agent has to stick to radio.
Doesn't A&E do mostly mystery shows and drama shows? I mean, couldn't you guys get like a detective team going?
We are going to be the new Angela Lansbury and Poirot. What is that guy? And we're going to solve crimes as we drive cars into pools. It's going to be a wonderful show.
It's Mythbusters meets Columbo.
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. By the way, Untitled Donnie Most Project is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was funny, right?
That was really funny. You guys are funny.
Do you guys want an update on the pitch thing?
Oh, we got updates?
I got a couple emails overnight.
The A&E thing, right?
Yeah, and we brought everyone into this, so we got to give updates now. And you want to just give the synopsis in case people didn't hear it? Just a really quick thing as I find these emails.
A production company that contacted us about a year ago with an idea for a television show that they wanted me and Opie to participate in. Well, after a year, they get in touch with us again because they said A&E is interested to hear the pitch. So we went down there for the pitch, and it just, from mine and Opie's point of view, it did not go very well.
Oh, it was a train wreck.
It was a disaster.
Absolutely.
We sat there, and there was really no interest from the A&E people. They were just stone-faced.
Right.
We left there, tails between our legs. Me and Opie were walking back to uptown here and just laughing at the whole thing.
We basically,
it was a mess.
Just to reiterate, we basically pitched Mythbusters meets Jackass to A&E, and they looked at us like, you're wasting our time.
Like you were pitching Mythbusters meets Jackass.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Bill. And then when we were walking home laughing for 30 blocks, Ed and I were like, we were pitching Mythbusters with lawsuits.
With lawsuits.
And Jackass, you just don't say that in any TV pitch meeting.
No, they don't want to hear it.
There's all sorts of problems associated with that show now because of lawsuits and kids
you will not
themselves.
see a Jackass-type show on television.
Anytime soon.
No.
So for us to mention Jackass in this meeting was like, away with you guys.
Right.
But the production company was convinced that the meeting went well, which Ant and I were just amazed at when we were taking the elevator back down to the street.
Yeah.
Where the limo that they got us was now gone because they only ordered the limo one way. And this was them trying to make
the
an impression on us.
K card that they brought you over.
So the basic setup, and a lot of you guys probably heard the whole bit yesterday or the discussion. And like I said, complete disaster. I told our agent, Anyway, I got a communique from Super Agent Bob Eatman. He writes, well, just shows you how networks think. Imagine if the meeting had gone well. Mm-hmm. You just never know. Ross, who's Bob's brother, said you guys really did a good job in the meeting, and we did, representing ourselves. We made them laugh and stuff. But as far as fitting into this show, obviously that's where the disaster starts. So the super agent wrote that as a little thing to the email he forwarded to Anthony and I this morning.
This is the email that he got
from the production company.
Just
got a call from the A&E execs. They really want this. We'll talk more tomorrow, but they get it and need to know what XM wants out of the deal and are prepared to play. They will want to go to arable pilot. We are working. What's an arable pilot, Bill? You've been around a long time.
They want to make an arable pilot?
Arable pilot. A pilot is basically you do a show that and you hand it in and then they go, well, all right, I guess we could throw this on TV, right?
Yeah, but
it's kind of a demo of the show.
Who sits down and goes, I want to make an unairable pilot.
Right.
Yeah. I want to make such a steaming pile of shit They go, we
It could not possibly air.
Yeah, we can't put this on TV. That's our goal here, people.
Of course, an arable putting arable in there is
it's a filler word.
Yeah.
But listen to the just the BS that comes through on this email.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me. Just got a call from the A&E execs. They really want this. He didn't get a call from the A&E. Okay, that's what you're going to do that? Yeah. He didn't get a call from the A&E execs. They couldn't wait for us to leave the conference room. They really want this. We'll talk more tomorrow. We will?
I'm sure he's going to want to.
Be more bullshit.
We w't be talking with this guy.
Oh, he was talking to Bob, though.
Oh, okay. We'll talk more tomorrow, but they get it. and need to know what XM wants out of the deal and are prepared to play. They will want to go to arable pilot. We are working on slightly altering the show. Slightly. Remember the discussion yesterday? This thing was a disaster.
There was nothing usable.
I said it needed a machete to the jugular, if you remember.
Slightly altering.
We are working on slightly altering the show to make it less jackass. He's still obsessed with
less
jackass.
How about none jackass?
Yeah, did you get it, you ass? No
we need
jackass.
None more jackass.
None more jackass.
You want to make it less suable.
Small claims court.
Yeah.
Misdemeanor.
Once we could tweak, we'll get it to the net for final approval. And I'm taking a bit from Anthony and Jim. This is huge! Because there's a lot of exclamation points. Get the boys excited! There's like 10 exclamation points after these. Again, we'll talk tomorrow! So,
liar whore, you know it.
So I got this yesterday, and I wrote Bob back immediately, and I said, Bob, they are completely delusional at this point, and I'm getting a little scared that we're even involved with people like this. And I just left a message. He calls back because he's out there in L.A., so he listens to the replay of the show, and he was like, "Hi, Opie." He's a dullard to begin with, but he's like, "Dullard." "Hi, Opie. Oh, I just heard the recap on the meeting, and I guess I get it now."
Thank God for this show that we didn't have to call Bob and say that, because we would have had to done yesterday's first hour on the phone with Bob.
But now we just throw it all on the radio.
But now
that's so much easier to get it out.
Our business is now on the radio. We hold meetings on the radio.
That'll be like your new relationship. Yeah. Hey, I'll listen to the show tomorrow and I'll hear what you guys have.
You'll
to
hear
think
our
about
side of the whole thing, right?
And Robert's completely competent, but he just misread this one, in my opinion. Because this guy's such a good BSer. And then he talked to his brother, and he's got the full story now, and he's like, all right, I'm going to, he's going to personally talk to A&E to see what is bullshit and what's not.
That's what he needs to do.
Which he's going to do today, but the reality is, we're going to be completely right, Anthony and I. There is a slight possibility they liked us as personalities, and the chemistry we have, maybe, and the success we've had on the radio might make them think, is there anything here that we could build?
Anything arable?
Yeah, right.
Arable.
But as far as us hosting this particular show, I think we're going to come out the winners in this one and be completely right. So that wasn't good enough. That was yesterday's email. This morning at like 5:50 in the morning, the guy from the production company writes me an email personally. Oh, you got it too, Anthony. Me, Anthony, and, of course, our agent. Guys, this email just makes me laugh on so many levels.
When did this come in, this morning?
Yeah, 5:50 or whatever. We received an unsolicited phone call. What does that mean?
Unsolicited.
Like, you hear all these words he uses?
That
Arable
means,
pilot,
that
unsolicited.
Means out of nowhere, his phone rang. He wasn't even approaching people.
He wasn't on TV going, call the number, 1-800.
Call me now.
An unsolicited
phone call.
I never got the unsolicited phone call.
I didn't even ask for it. I'm sitting there, my phone rang, and I went, who the fuck could this be? Because I'm not even expecting a call.
The only way that makes sense is if you look at the phone and go, ring right now.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
There's a solicited phone call.
There's a solicited phone call. Right?
I'm expecting your call. No, unsolicited phone call.
All right, guys, we received an unsolicited phone call from blank last night from A&E. What you need to know is that the 3 people in the meeting with us are the 3 people who make the programming decisions at A&E. We know that. Blank is blank's right-hand person. In yesterday's Variety was a huge article about A&E's direction, and the only 3 execs named were blank, blank, and blank. All 3 took part in our meeting. He was very excited that they were all there. But they were all there to meet us.
Right.
And he doesn't understand that yet.
Yeah.
Rob confirmed that, well, there goes that name. Rob confirmed that he loves the boys and the show and is going to work quickly and hard with us to tweak the concept so it doesn't seem jackass-ish. That will pull the woman, who's the big muckety-muck, over to our side without any hesitation.
She ain't coming for nothing.
This is the woman that was so bothered right off the bat.
And she's the head one there. She was the one that needed to be impressed.
Oh, she had the watch that she kept.
The jangling watch.
The chandelier
jangle.
hanging up.
Chandelier with a face.
The jingle jangle.
Right.
That will pull her over to our side. And this is where the BS, it just comes bleeding through without any hesitation. Because he knows we saw complete hesitation in that meeting.
Of course.
Rob, because we already blew his name, Rob is now talking about an arable pilot.
You sure he didn't want to write terrible? And it just like skipped and arable came out? Is it air or arable? Because that might have just been him missing a couple of letters.
Rob is now talking about an arable pilot. This is huge. We just did an arable pilot for the Travel Channel, and it was so good they picked up the 13-show series immediately. We don't know. Who knows on that?
I'm taking a jump right here. I'm going to take a leap of faith.
It is a TV production house. They had to produce something. We just don't know what. We can't find any credits for this company. We know that we will blow A&E's heads off when we go to arable pilot production. See, that's just like promising the world. Like,
right, again, we're going to sell more DVDs than Chappelle.
Like, that's embarrassing. There's nothing to back that. That's just like...
Yeah.
You know? You got to back this stuff up with, like, cold, hard facts. How do you know that we're going to blow their heads off, right? So, clearly they have been discussing this behind the scenes after our meeting.
I agree with that. I believe they're discussing us and them and the pitch and everything.
And how it's going to go down as one of the top 5 worst pitches of all time. Oh, we'll be the talk of the Christmas party this year.
I absolutely believe it. As a matter of fact, Opie, there was a tape recorder running.
All right.
When we left.
Right.
Yeah. That's terrific. That's terrific.
Yeah.
I got an idea for a show I want to pitch.
Yeah?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Meets.
Jackass.
You ask them questions, right? And then as they're trying to think, you take a razor and you take clumps of their hair out of their head to distract them.
Out of Regis's head.
Yeah.
It only works if it's Regis.
And you give the contestant paper cuts between their fingers
as you're trying
with manila envelopes.
As you're trying to answer the $1 million question, you're hanging from an alligator pit on a rope. In just your underwear, and you have like meat products hanging from your crotch.
Your question: what is the capital of Iowa? What is the capital of Iowa? Oh, I just shot him in his bulletproof vest. He's got quite a welt over there. Final answer: he's getting up off the ground.
All right, this is almost done. Trust me, there's a great grand finale for everybody.
Ooh.
So clearly, they have been discussing this behind the scenes after our meeting. They want to move this forward, and we will make it priority 1 to get back to them ASAP with the minor. He has an exclamation points there.
Minor
modifications.
You need a whole new fucking idea.
Right. It's got to be an entirely new idea because they were not biting at all. At all.
It was so bad that Anthony and I now have to separate and pitch individual TV pilots
Right.
for anything to work.
For anything to work, it can't even include the two of us anymore.
You know what that's like? His excitement is like the first time you ever take a meeting and you actually believe everything that they're saying.
Everything you heard, because you have nothing else to base it on. It's your first meeting. You're excited just that it's your first meeting.
They told me that they love me. They're really excited to work with me.
Yep.
I see big things for you.
This happens, by the way, throughout most everybody's entire life. Just not on maybe the level of a television show, but it's, school, being accepted to schools, things like that. It's just the bullshit you get, the disappointment. You ever been in a band? You ever been in a local band? You have the guitar player will send tapes out and go, dude, I know the guy that works for a guy over at Capitol Records or whatever, record company at the time, and he's going to listen to the tape, and I think we're going to be signed.
He's totally into it.
He's so into the fucking thing, and it just never pans out, and everybody in the band is sitting there dreaming and thinking this is going to go somewhere.
If we took
After a while, you realize it's just bullshit.
Yeah, if we took this meeting 6 or 7 years ago, we would be buying into this entire thing and all these emails without a doubt.
How long ago?
5, 6 years ago?
Yeah, okay, years. I thought you said months.
Oh no, no, not at all. By the way, there is a show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Meets Jackass. Nathaniel just found it.
Wow, Nathaniel.
What is this show all about?
It's called Distraction. It's on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It's basically just asking people trivia questions, but I guess here's a clip of people having to down hot sauce right before they do it.
Someone actually bought Millionaire Meets Jackass. What happened?
It's unreal.
See, I'm in the wrong business. I need to be the new Mark Burnett. I just threw that out as a goof, and the
I didn't
show's
see
already
it on
out
the
there.
side of the bus.
Right.
I didn't see it.
Motherfucker.
Bastards.
Dude,
How
especially
come
now,
Mythbusters doesn't work with Jackass, but Millionaire does.
especially now with like all these reality shows being picked up, you can have the dumbest concept ever.
Yeah.
And I'll say it to my agent and be like, yeah, somebody already pitched that.
It's already done.
Yeah, it's
no
already,
matter what.
It's already been approved. It's fucking. It's unbelievable. It's like anybody can sell a show now.
All right.
Just take every show, write it down on a piece of paper. Just go through the TV listings, and then divvy them up. Put half in one hat, half in the other.
Hey, let's do that.
Pull two out.
Let's do that now.
And
it's like
make a show out of it.
Go ahead, sorry.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom meets the Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
You sit there and you try to answer questions, and there's a cobra sitting on your desk.
And you're brilliant.
Exactly.
You're brilliant.
That's how you make a show.
Someone get a bunch of TV shows, throw them in a hat. We'll pull out two. We will come up with a
and then
TV pitch.
We'll pitch one.
That is how you do. I want to see Discovery Wings channel.
Right.
Wings of the Luftwaffe. Will and Grace. How do you put those two shows together?
How do you do it?
Gay guys.
We don't have to worry about that.
Gay guys with their sharp, dressy Nazi uniforms on.
Feed seagulls down on Coney Island.
There you go. Pitch it. A&E's clamoring
every week, man, it's a different seagull. You can just see this, man. You'll get 100 episodes.
We're on it.
Right, I see the side of the bus.
We're on it. We're gonna get a bunch of TV listings together, and we'll come up with something that makes sense. We'll do our own TV pitch. All right. So really fast. So I did that. Okay. They want. I'm gonna have to read this whole paragraph again because. All right. So clearly they have been discussing this behind the scenes after our meeting. They want to move this forward, and we will make it a priority one to get back to them ASAP with the minor modifications to make this happen. Bob, which is our super agent, they were curious as to what XM would want in return. And were willing to consider their needs. See, what he's trying to do is drag in XM to get more heat.
Right.
So he looks even more powerful. Because he looked pretty powerful to, not to pat ourselves on the back, but to bring Opie and Anthony into this discussion. Now it's like, that wasn't good enough. Let's now bring XM into it.
Let's get XM involved, and now A&E is going to go, well, we can get some advertising
Sends over
on
a box
XM.
of those red hats.
Yeah.
Right, those red XM hats.
Thank God you said red, Bill. Thank you. This is the only time I'll ever wear this hat.
We could give him some of those seat cushions for the sporting events.
So you in a tropical storm, you were just standing outside in that fucking thing, and then you jumped in a dryer.
All right, sorry.
All right, that's very good. Yeah, I mean, XM, you know, if we do a TV show, XM would just be like, yeah, that's cool. And the TV networks, they just get it. They know, like, we would talk about a TV show on our show a lot. So they don't need to really wonder what XM's participation would be. That's just completely ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Tom in Tennessee, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, Distraction was the funniest shit in the world, man. I used to watch it a lot, but because they win a car. They wouldn't win like $1 million. They win a car. And at the end of the show, they would ask the guy that won questions. And every question he got wrong, the contestants that lost got to fuck the car up, like smash the windows or pour paint on it and shit like that, and cut the seats up. And that was
that's pretty funny. Your prize is the car, and every time you fuck up, they fuck your car up.
That's pretty funny.
I like that. See, where was that idea?
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, man.
How about Mythbusters meets Queer Eye?
Queer Eye for the Mythbuster. I like it.
Queer Eye for the Mythbuster.
Right. It's all.
See, you could throw that on the side of a bus.
It's homosexual myths.
Right.
Like you take the guy with the gerbil up
thing.
the ass, and then the guy that went to find it, so he lit a match, and it fired the gerbil out his ass into the other guy's face, and they both ended up at the hospital. One guy with third-degree burns and a broken nose on his face, the other guy with third-degree burns in his intestine and his ass.
There you go.
And he wrote the thing, in hindsight, lighting the match was a bad idea.
Unfortunately, that's the only gay myth we can think of. So
Any other gay myths?
It'll be a short series.
I don't think so.
All right, so...
Side of the bus? I don't see it. Gerbil.
Yeah. Bob, they were curious as to what XM would want in return. It's not true. And we're willing to consider their needs. This all points to a real desire on their part to move this forward.
Do you get to the point of working out some kind of advertising deal between the two companies before you even have a viable idea for a program? Before you even think that you are going to work with people? Do you start doing that?
He just goes in there and just starts spinning plates.
That's what he's One's slowing down. Get it.
Oh, crap, man. Unbelievable. All right.
This is horrible. It's embarrassing.
Dude, the last paragraph is just... sums it all up. This all points to a real desire on their part to move this forward. I'm assuming XM will be tickled to have the boys on a 90 million sub network with gobs. He wrote the word gobs. With gobs of primetime TV exposure.
Prime time. He's already got the slot for this.
This is a parody of what actually happens with real celebrities and TV pitches.
Yeah, right out the door.
He's already got prime time, so it's prime time. It's going to be airing in prime time.
Right.
We're working out the deal with XM and
with gobs of primetime TV exposure. But again, A&E will play ball with them.
I don't get how this can be.
I'm getting the douche chills. Like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
We should all feel, in capital letters, damn good about this. We are moments away from a damn deal with A&E.
Wait, from a damn deal? Moments away.
We are now
it doesn't
moments
say
away
that.
from a
You are now lying. You are now lying.
Read it for yourself.
Absolutely does not say that.
We should all feel damn good about this. We are moments away from a damn deal with A&E.
Moments!
Dude, you know how many of these guys are out there? You know how many people are just bullshitters? They bullshit through their lives. They are pathological liars.
We had a guy...
It gets to the point where, they start believing their own lies.
We had that guy, Steve Russo, from Restaurant Records, that put out our CD.
Holy shit.
He was... This guy, ripped from the same mold.
Oh, my God.
Just the ultimate hype man.
Just the same guy. And they all almost look the same. It's like the same mold.
And before you start doing business with anybody, especially in the entertainment business, you kind of ask around and see what they've done. So we asked Steve, he wanted to represent us. Thank God we didn't. The big meeting that took place where he was going to try to convince us to be represented by him.
To sign with him, yeah.
Happened in a food court in a mall with a real big black guy as his muscle.
Yeah.
He was basically trying to make us sign like a hip-hop contract.
We were
forcing us to sign.
Yeah, did they hang you out a window?
Right.
Yeah, we were supposed to be paid for CD sales, and we were like, there better be about $10,000 each a check when we get to
this
food
is when we
court.
sent out our Demented World CD. To this day, we've sold close to 100,000 copies.
It did very well.
It just went nuts, and we were doing CD signings that were anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, all day. There were some Saturdays. We were at a mall all day signing.
All day doing signing.
All
Money's
day.
rolling in. So we expect, he goes, I got checks for you guys, and I got the contract. Because he was just pushing us to sign with him. So we're like, all right, we'll meet you because we want the fucking checks. Meanwhile, the contract, me and Opie talking, going, this guy's shady, man. I ain't signing with him. Let's
Is that
just
why
get
you
our
picked
checks.
a public place?
Yeah.
That's a good way
Public
to do it.
place. So
Hold on, I just got back up, but we're like, well, before we sign with you, like, who else do you represent, you know?
Yeah.
You know, he was doing these silly little CDs for radio stations and stuff. You know, whatever. That's low-level crap that almost anyone can do. He goes, well, I represent Bozo the Clown.
He was excited because he just picked up Bozo.
Bozo the Clown.
He had just picked up Bozo the Clown.
And so
Bozo.
So we did our research. I
Like
don't remember.
80?
No, I don't remember. We did our research. I'm not sure he was either. Well, okay. We think the original Bozo died.
He did.
Okay.
The real Bozo
So he
was dead.
He went to high school with.
Yeah, me and Bozo used to hang.
So he wasn't even representing the Bozo. He was representing the Bozo the Clown.
The replacement Bozo.
The new Bozo the Clown.
And he was like trying to make this sound good. Like, guys, I just picked up Bozo. Bozo the Clown.
So like, all right, well,
It's like Gallagher Part 2. He sold his
Gallagher
act to his brother. Yeah.
And you know, everyone, you know, you give your best. So he represents other people.
It's
so
downhill from the
it's gotta be-
replacement Bozo.
Yeah, it has to be. So like, what else have you done, Steve? You know, and he goes, you know that song? You remember this one, Ed?
Oh my
You know
God.
that song, na 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 na, hey hey, goodbye.
Nah.
You hear it at all sporting events.
It's like, wow, wait, did he write it?
I'm like, wow, all right,
something, what?
wow. Well, let's listen a little closer here. He goes, I was in the recording studio when that band was recording that song.
And do you know they didn't have a name at the time? And they were all trying to think up a name. So we're standing there for hours trying to think up a name.
Just trying to figure it out.
And at some point, I turned because I heard this hissing noise. And it was one of those old-style radiators on the wall.
Some people like to say radiators.
Radiator. One of those old-style. And it was letting off some steam like they usually do. And I turned to the guys and said, guys, how about steam? And everyone went, that's great.
That's perfect.
And the name of the band is Steam.
You know what I'm picturing the whole time he's telling this story? People walking behind him like with trays of orange chicken at the food court.
Yeah.
Sitting down at the seat.
Yeah.
Angie, get me some more napkins.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to come off like a big shot.
Like
sitting in
a big shot.
plastic swivel chair.
You know what's great? A lot of people look into our lives, and we got fan sites and stuff, and we've had a lot of success, obviously. But they have no idea how ridiculous it really is.
Crap you go through. So we're sitting in this food
And we
court.
continue to go through crap. It just gets a little better as you move forward in your career. But
Dude, Seinfeld goes to meetings and goes, oh my God, what the fuck waste of time was
There
that?
you
It just keeps happening. So we're sitting in this food court. We're there to get our checks. The whole drive there, also, me and Opie are going, this motherfucker, this better be at least 10 grand each.
We made our own deal there, Bill. Oh, we didn't sign anything, but we made our own deal.
No, it's a handshake.
That we were going to split 75 cents a CD.
Because it's 1879, and a handshake is good enough here on this farm.
Yeah.
We decided we were just, we'll handshake this through.
That's how smart your pals are. We don't need to sign anything. You seem like a good guy.
No payment schedule on delivery of CDs, blah, blah, blah.
75 cents a CD.
75
that I would
cents a CD.
split, so that's 37.5 cents per
Each.
disc. We were selling CDs in the Boston area like dare
Hot
I say,
cakes.
hot cakes, Bill. Hot cakes.
Hot cakes.
Where did you shake?
With merchandise.
Shook
Posters.
hands
It was
in the parking lot of a ground round. Sounds good to me.
Exactly. This is how stupid we were.
Posters and T-shirts with our likeness on them.
Yeah.
Oh, and those were selling like
And
crazy too, Bill.
he'd be in the corner at these signings
As we're signing our
we're
asses
signing
off.
we're signing for hours on end. He's in the corner, and all you would see is the back of him, and you'd see his elbows moving in the corner, and you'd hear. And then you'd see him like fold something and stick a wad in his front pocket. Guys, you're doing a great job. Doing a great job. We're moving things.
All cash that we never saw.
All cash. We never saw dime
Like
one
hundreds
of
of
the
dollars
T-shirt
at-
or poster sales.
Hundreds, maybe even over 1,000.
Dude, how many times a signing would he go to that corner and his elbows, you just see elbows moving. And we're sitting there looking over like, we got to get a piece of this someday. We shook hands.
So then, finally,
Idiots.
Finally, we're starting to get bitter after doing it. Probably close to 10 of these, CD signings, and just a madhouse at these places.
We wanted our money, is what it came down to. We need money.
All right, we'll meet you at the food court.
Food court for
Was
the
this
money.
guy dressed like Boss Hogg?
He was
a white-on-white suit.
You know what he was exactly like? He was exactly like this new guy.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
And this is like 7 years ago.
Anyone in entertainment knows this guy. Anyone in entertainment has been with this guy, has sat down in meetings with him, and the ones that haven't found them out get fucked in deals for years.
I think there's a lot of these people in
elbows
in whatever business you do.
Yeah,
the bullshitter.
The bullshitter. So we go to the table. We want our money
at the food court.
He's got the contract.
We
and
haven't been paid yet.
Envelope. He's got some envelopes. So now I'm just staring at now I'm fucking livid, pissed. I'm just staring at the fucking envelope. He's talking about how he wants us to sign this contract. It's a 5-year fucking deal that this guy wants to sign us to. There's no way in hell I'm
represent
signing.
us and
to represent us. He's representing Bozo and us. And it's just, so
Came
I'm
up with the name for Steam.
Yeah, Steam. Came up with the name for Steam. I'm staring at the envelope. Finally, he slides the envelope over to us. I open this thing up. Now, I'm thinking, in the whole drive in, I'm going, if this is less than 10 grand, I am fucking walking away from the table. I want my fucking 10 G's from these from this CD sale. I open it up. There is a check in there for $1,000. I'd have been pissed with $9,999. Wow. That's the line. And it was a non-negotiable line in my head. It had to be 10 grand or I was living pissed. It was $1,000.
Before taxes.
And the second I tipped the envelope open and saw the amount, he starts making excuses and how I'm going to get more money. We had to put in another order, which took up the money that was there, like blob. And in my head, it was wah 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 wah. I don't want to hear it.
Bill, when I tell you,
What did you say to the guy?
Not a word.
We just sat there. We
sat
both
back,
folded our arms.
I folded my arms. I sat back in the chair, put a look on my face, and just stared at him as he's now going into why we should sign with him. Why we should sign.
But he has to know he's bombing at this point.
He is tanking. Tanking.
Oh, yeah.
And it reached the point where I stood up, we got up, and walked. That was it.
And you didn't say anything to him?
That, I believe, was the last we saw of Steve Russo.
I think we ended up seeing him once in New York or something.
I never said another word to him.
Yeah, we just... So then we start telling these stories on the air.
On the air back at NEW.
Because then he paid us a little bit, like a couple checks came in, but not
even up to the $1,000 mark.
No, just little pittance, okay? So we go on the air and
Wait a second, you don't have a contract with this guy.
No, we shook hands.
So
it was done through the radio station. Fucking Dave Dickless, another reason why we hate that fucking asshole.
Yeah, it was in cooperation with the radio station. So for us to actually sign a deal with the record company guy, this shyster, would have taken the radio station out of the mix. And we're so naive at the time. We assumed that the radio station had their shit in order and, we were going to get paid because the station was going to work out some kind of deal. It's a classic example of watch your own fucking ass. And we didn't. Thank God it was very early in our careers and it wasn't such a huge deal. This wasn't, fucking Skid Row's first album, that kind of deal where we're losing millions of dollars. We took a hit. Few grand.
So you know what this business is like? Anytime you got some cash coming towards you, it's like right almost the second you're going to be able to grasp it, like 20 guys stand in front of it and have it pass through them for half a second and take that chunk, and you see that stack go down.
What happened?
You're like, what the fuck happened?
As a single bill flutters to your feet.
You end up looking at your bank account. It's like, did I go on like a crack binge? and like buy like 20 people a grand piano last night?
What
Where
happened?
the fuck did all my money go?
What happened? These agents, they take a percentage that is beyond ridiculous.
I used to have this guy.
Beyond ridiculous, but you have no choice in the matter.
When I was in Boston, there used to be this guy who used to like videotape comedians. This guy was fucking horrible. I mean, like, you would go on stage and you would fucking destroy, and like the audio would be fucked up.
Oh.
He would sit there, like, all he had to do was just filming you, and you'd be on stage, and somehow you'd hear him. He'd start getting into a conversation with somebody, and you're watching the tape, you're killing, and then you walk out of frame, and you're like, a fucking 8-year-old could do this shit. Just follow me around, right? So then you would get there, and when he would, like, break down how much you were going to pay, you know, he'd be like, okay, it was, $70 for this, $25 for this, and then there was always this extra, like little fuck charge in the end that just made no sense, and when he would present it to you, he would go into the character of a scumbag. He would be like, and then, there's a little, 25% surcharge, and you do this little fucking, and it's like, dude, why are you going into a character of a scumbag? You are a scumbag. you don't need to pretend like, hey, he's doing this little pretending to play with
you know how it is, huh?
Yeah, like...
Oh, what a dick.
And that was like the beginning where I was just so naive. It's like, I'm getting fucked right now. I don't know how...
How do I get unfucked?
Yeah, the only thing I know how to do is respond in anger. Like, that was the only thing I learned in my family. It's like, I can't put this guy in a headlock and just start punching him in the head. I didn't have any business skills to be like...
dude, you're fucking me. What is this for?
Yeah, this is bullshit.
Stop your act. Tell me what this charge is. Right.
And
you just, okay.
And the greatest thing is the first time you do that, they immediately implode and be like, okay, I'll get rid of that charge, but don't tell anybody else.
Hey,
I'm just doing this for you, yeah.
Meanwhile, he's selling it like it's going to look like an HBO One Night Stand or something. So got 3-camera shoot.
So getting back to the Steve guy and our CD and not getting paid and all that, and finally, we have a falling out, which should have happened a lot earlier. We go on the air and we start talking about it because we talk about all this shit. And we're talking about how this guy's not paying us, and we spent, a lot of hours, putting this thing together and, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so then he calls us up and goes, well, now that you're talking badly about me on the air about how I'm not paying you, now I'm not paying you.
Now I'm not paying you. It's like he wasn't paying us. The man had no intention at all to pay us
but now
ever.
He had an excuse.
But now
why
he
wasn't paying us.
Now he finally had an excuse. You guys talk about me on there? Now you know what? Now you don't get paid. Now you don't get paid.
It goes down as some of the dumbest things ever said to Opie and Anthony.
Like he's sitting in front of the radio writing the big check for us.
Yeah.
All right, pay to the order of Anthony Cumia. What? They're talking. That's it. Now
I'm not paying you.
Now that you're on stage saying that I'm a piece of shit, I'm really going to live up to that. And continue behaving like
Isn't that amazing?
Shit.
Scumbag.
So, honestly,
Steve Russo.
This CD that was just beyond successful could have even been more successful because when we moved to New York, he just didn't have enough resources to print up any, make any more for the New York area.
It was a no-brainer to put this out in New York.
And to this day, well, we haven't been paid in 5-6 years now. I don't know, 5 years easily.
Panero's on CNBC right now.
Is he?
If you want to change it over.
Go to CNBC really fast.
Fan CNBC.
CNBC.
That's Oh, no, Than. You don't know the channel,
You don't know CNBC, do you?
Where? Hawk?
Oh, boy. Let's
BET, USA.
Oh, great. Bravo. Oh, A&E.
15.
Thank you. That don't look like... That's Arnold Palmer.
Did we miss him?
How about that TV?
We must have missed him, huh?
I don't know.
Did they say that on the instant feedback?
Yeah, it said Hugh is on CNBC right now.
All right, well, it was probably a quick interview.
Great.
XM announced big news. We'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, so Billy goes, all right, now I'm not going to pay you, and that was the end of Russo. And to this day, I think we made less than $5,000 each, probably even like...
What do you think he made?
I have no idea.
A couple hundred?
He made a killing. He had to have. I don't.
My brother ran into his crony very recently. Remember the short guy?
Mark?
Mark. Ran into his crony very recently, working some day job somewhere.
Of course he is.
Just like,
I used to bitch to Mark all the time, and he was believing in Steve, and I was like, man, you're in for a long, hard fall eventually. So anyway, getting back to the new Steve in our life, this guy with the pitch. God damn, I hope you guys follow because we go all over the place. The rest of this email, it's really fast. So the A&E deal, the TV pitch, you guys know we're going back to that.
Moments away. We're moments away.
We should all feel damn good about this. We are moments away from a damn deal with A&E. Endeavor is poised to work with Bob and then move the deal forward in a big way.
In a big way.
Is there any other way to move a deal forward?
Big.
These are things people use in emails and when they talk, when they're just bullshitting to you.
Filler.
All system... And then you get stuff like this. All systems are ready for go.
He's going to go into, like, sports cliches. We're firing on all cylinders.
It's not all systems are ready for go. It's all systems are go. What? You can't even get the cliche right.
I know. It's just about done. I need a freaking martini. It will be a dream to do this project with you guys. The constant laughing will hurt.
Oh, well something will hurt.
A&E.
Something's going to hurt.
If you need a good laugh, why don't you call A&E today? So sit tight, and we'll get the redirect to you quickly. Then push it down the Nets. Then push it down the Nets gullet.
Push it down the Nets
gullet.
The network.
Yeah.
Push it down their gullet.
Hey,
suck on this.
Right.
Like we got the upper hand here. Like we got the biggest fucking thing.
That's when you know the idea is awful. You just can't present it to them.
You got to
push it down their gullet.
Well,
I don't really see how that show was. Shut the fuck up! Eat it!
Like when you give a dog a pill, you got to hold their snout shut and rub their throat. Hold their head up.
Then push it down.
Take this concept.
Then push it down the Nets gullet and get ready to go from there. This is all good. Call or email me with any thoughts, questions, or concerns. When the deal is done...
Still going?
This is how it ends. This is the
when the deal is done... Okay, now we're predicting the future again.
When the deal is done, can we all go to the beach and do mushrooms to celebrate?
You know, that's another thing that makes me really nervous about this guy. I have never, ever had a conversation with him that didn't turn into drinking a lot or doing drugs.
Well, that's the anxiety in the back of his subconscious that he's lying so much. Like after he just goes through the whole, it's going to be great, right? And then after he hits send, he just fucking cries in the fetal position.
Because reality comes back.
Yeah, every once in a while it just washes over.
Yeah.
When he's in the men's room afterwards washing his hand and he looks in the mirror and catches his eyes. Just grabs the sink and breaks down.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, man. Oh.
Anyway.
Too goddamn funny. You know, he's right.
Soap opera continues.
I do laugh so much it hurts.
Yeah, we need to share that with you today. All right. As we go to break, we played Hi Mom, I'm in Jail for Steve-O. I want to play the one that went horribly wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That we wanted to put on our Demented World CD at the time, but Dave Dickless thought it was a little too mean.
I think this is
it was a little too mean.
A little too mean-spirited.
A little too mean.
Another idiot we listened to for 10 minutes.
He actually started trying to edit out God. That in the middle of our prank phone calls, we were saying, Jesus,
God damn it,
God damn it. So all of a sudden, he's in a production room one day, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing to our CD? It was about ready to be mastered and go off to the CD printing plant.
Yeah.
And he's in there trying to edit out words like God and Jesus.
And Jesus, because what I think it was his wife was like really religious and used to listen to the show and tell him what to tell us to do. Because he was just like, came off as a real pussy-whipped guy.
The power of the pussy.
Remember how we nailed him when we were at NEW and we realized that he was getting fired from AAF? So he had to sell his house. And we found out what his address was of the house that he was selling and sent our listeners down there to the showings of his house to walk around in there and just give him stupid questions and call him an ass.
The best, because...
trying to sell your house and show it, and our pests show up.
Yeah, the pests were just walking around his house. But
like with dirty shoes on his carpet.
Yeah. But the best was he didn't know he was getting fired. We got the inside word that he was getting fired that day later on or something.
Yeah.
So we go on our show. This is now, we're back on in Boston at WBCN. So we're announcing to all of Boston, because, he's known in the Boston area, that he's getting fired today. And then we had people at AF that we still knew. and they were calling us going, dude, holy crap, is this true? And I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. You watch. And they were basically telling us he's walking around like all freaked out, like no way, and sweating and stuff. And we broke the news. The news to him, and then sure enough, later in the day, he was called into the old office. Old office.
Can we speak to you for a minute?
Yeah, exactly. But we were able to break the news before he even knew. That made me feel very, very good about myself. That was a
lot of fun.
There was a lot of payback in that little thing we did.
Got to deal with so many jackasses.
Hey, Jimmy, your pal's Aunt and myself, we're negotiating with some networks ourselves.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're not the only one that might be on television.
That's
my
right.
friend.
We got some TV projects.
Movers and shakers working for us.
Who?
You gotta hook up your MiFi because you're missing some great radio, bro.
Yeah.
We spent at least 2 to 3 hours on this. We did a TV pitch with A&E, with this really bad production company that pretty much pitched MythBusters to A&E, starring Opie and Anthony.
Dude, it was such a flop in the pitch. We're sitting there as the guy that's pitching it is just eating his balls, and we're sitting there. And they're just straight-faced, the A&E people. Just straight-faced. And then they just, started picking apart everything the guy had just brought up for the pitch. It was embarrassing.
Were you guys embarrassed?
Oh, God, were we?
Just sitting there wanting to leave. We couldn't. The woman that's in charge over there at A&E, she had this bracelet watch, and 2 minutes in, it was like a chandelier on her wrist, and I just heard clang, 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 clang as she looked at her watch. And I was like, oh, this is going nowhere fast.
And we explained it on the air, like, when we were off the air and we had no career, you know, I was brought right back to that moment thinking this is all we have and we need this. And then I realized, wait, no, we don't need this. This would be just a little side thing.
Yeah.
So then we actually sat back in that conference room and enjoyed the disaster that was taking place in front of us. The guy pitched the show as MythBusters meets Jackass.
And the woman instantly went, well, we don't want to hear Jackass because the lawsuits that are happening with Jackass, and we have 2 shows in the can we can't even put out because of lawsuits with that Jackass type thing. And then the guy kept bringing up Jackass. And the woman's telling him.
He's like, but Jackass was so huge, and they made a movie because it was huge, and blah, blah, blah.
And she's like, well, let's just not, enough about the moose. No more Jackass. And he just kept going and And we're sitting there just at that huge, lonely conference table, just eating it.
And was he smooth or no?
Oh, God.
No.
It was embarrassing. They might replay some of that over the weekend when they replay some of our shows.
It was a nightmare. It was the exact opposite of how you want a pitch meeting to go.
That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, we did about 2 or 3 hours on it because it was just unbelievable. He wouldn't take no for an answer. It was so obvious they were done with us. And then we're in the elevator, and he's like, guys, I think we're really close. We just got to tweak this a little bit. And like...
It was not a chance in hell, and he's like, I think we just got to tweak this a little and get back to them. They gave us a one-way limo ride just there. Opie gets in, shuts the door, the handle comes off in his hand. Yeah, it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, because the production house, this TV production house, whatever, they needed us more than we need them, so they were trying to show us, that we're stars or whatever. So, yeah, they get a limo to drive us over to A&E. That was just awful.
We met them at their offices. It was set up like a boiler room, like one of those where there's a bunch of illegal aliens on telephones until the cops come and chase them out, soliciting illegal goods.
We can't find one thing these guys have done that anyone knows of.
He was crowing about some equestrian reality show that the Travel Channel was picking up. Unless they're showing over and over again Christopher Reeve breaking his neck, I don't want to see it. It was the worst pitch meeting we walked 38 blocks after we left this, me and Opie, just laughing our asses off like 2 lunatics in Manhattan, laughing at how badly this went.
This guy pitched the show as MythBusters with lawsuits.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's like, so what you're saying is this is MythBusters with some kind of court action later. some type of financial burden through litigation later.
Oh, tell him about. He's like, well, what would they just be doing? He's just like, hey, you guys are just.
That's it too, because then they are asking questions. It's like, okay, well, I guess the gist was we're going to do things that everyone wants to see ever since they're a kid. Jimmy, you ever want to see a grand piano drop through the roof of a house? That's the kind of stuff O&A will be doing. And then the woman's like, all right, well, you got the stunt type thing. We understand that. But what's happening? What's the setup? How does it end? And he just kind of didn't have an answer. It was just kind of like, well, O&A just do what they do. And then she turns and she starts looking at us for an answer on how this ends. And I'm sitting there. I felt like I was in school and just picked on and didn't know the answer. I think it actually came out of my mouth. I think I said, don't pick me. Don't pick. I don't know. I can't even make something up.
He actually told him that by the end of the show we don't accomplish anything.
No,
that's the beauty. We just don't figure out anything.
At which point it felt like the Seinfeld pitch episode where George just kept going, a show about nothing, and they were bombing in the meeting. We were bombing.
What was she looking at you though? Like when he said, look, Opie and Anthony will just do what they do. Did she look at you to go, all right, what is it that you guys do?
Yes, yes. And then we're trying to say, well, on the radio we have a very, it's like guys just kind of hanging out and talking to each other like we would at a bar or any other setting that. And how does that translate into driving a car into a big pool of Jell-O? But let me, Opie. How would that?
And at that point, I just openly started laughing. You know how I do? Because I don't have anything else, and I'm uncomfortable and a little nervous, so I just start laughing really loud in her face.
Dude, it was so embarrassing, such bomb. I was getting like hot flashes.
The guy is turning beet red.
Like I had, you know how they hand out bottles of water at the conference tables whenever you do those meetings?
Oh yeah.
I finished mine. And no one ever finishes the water. I was so hot, and like my mouth was getting all dry, and it was such an uncomfortable place to be a minute in.
And Jimmy, when we knew we were done is when this the head muckety muck there that makes all the decisions changed the conversation and she actually said, "So is it still nice outside?"
Still nice outside?
Never a good sign in a pitch.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Seinfeld must have gotten the same question after the pitch meeting.
Yeah.
For that show. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that's even worse than bombing on a comedy stage. Because bombing in comedy is just, a bunch of fucking idiots. You'll never see them again.
Right, right.
That actually could have made your life better.
Right. It could have made that one instance may have made our life better, and now no. And we might have to deal with them again. We could walk in now to a pitch meeting with Jesus and Satan with us and pitch a show of these two fighting live on television, and they will go, weren't they the guys that were in here with that idiot about the Mythbusters Jackass show? No, I'm sorry, Christ's sake, we're going to have to pass on.
Were you embarrassed for him?
Oh, yeah, embarrassed for everyone in the room. I saw my reflection in the window, and I was embarrassed for that guy. I swear to God.
This guy is delusional, man. Absolutely delusional.
Yeah.
And then she's talking about the weather. I'm like, oh, God, just get us out of here.
It was a horror.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
sure.
I'm going to go outside and check. Hang on a second.
Yeah, let me go and then run.
Yeah.
Run from the scene.
I'm sure that's how other pitch meetings go, where they're walking to the elevator talking about the weather. Instead of saying stuff like, don't pitch this to anyone else, we'll get together later today.
Yeah, let's talk tonight. I'm going to email you that. Yeah. Hey, still warm out?
I'm like, yeah. For this late in the season, it's pretty warm still.
Obviously, it's warm. I'm sweating. I'm in an air-conditioned building, and I'm sweating.
That really is humiliating.
Oh,
walking,
Jimmy.
And pretend that didn't just happen.
Right.
Walking with the guy who raped you and just chatting with him.
But then we're thinking, we're all the way...
Your ass still hurts, and he's asking you about the weather.
He's helping you put your coat on. There you go, sweetie.
All right, take it easy. I think the relationship went well. I think it just needs some tweaking.
After he brutalized you, he's asking you how the food is in that restaurant down the street. You're like, it's good.
Oh, geez.
That's like one of those bad date rape, like school movies where the girl starts crying afterwards and the guy has no clue. Like, what's wrong?
What?
Why are you crying?
I'm showing you how much I care about you.
Oh, there's nothing better than a passive-aggressive date rape in a movie. It really isn't.
And then, the meeting was summed up when we hit the sidewalk and we all went our own ways. And we're 35 blocks from where we need to be. And that's the point we realized it's rush hour traffic and the limo's gone.
Yeah, the limo. No limo for the ride back.
He only hired it for one way.
Jesus.
Great. Very,
Well,
very great.
I wish I had been there for that.
Oh, I
It's
know.
great. Just when you think things are going well in your career, you get these reminders.
Get that little reminder of your place on the ladder.
That's right.